Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. So, I have the cue. I can play cat, but the rack leave is pretty grim. However, 24 points is, I think, better than changing. If I changed, I could keep ANT, which would be worth about +5. But this rack leave, is it worth -19? I don't think it is. I'm going with cat. And I should be able to sort the rack out this turn. I have width and ninth on my rack, both of which play around cat, and my eye can go under the cue. Cat also had the advantage of denying opponent access to double word squares. I don't think I have an 8 with this rack. So, what if opponent changes? I think it's a choice between keeping the W or keeping double N. Okay, well, opponent doesn't change. Mop doesn't take anything after it that I've got. I do have a spot for both width and ninth, but width is going to score more. W scoring twice gets 8 points. Ninth, well, the N only scores 2. And I'm not playing the D either, so I'm going with this for 26. Well, still a long way from a bingo, but it's a balanced rack, and I should be able to, well, certainly play through it. A play of nay would sort out the duplicates. Yay is also good, but that would keep double N. Width only takes an S. Toey is good. So do I have a 5-letter play ending in Y? Don't think I do. What else is available? Toe only takes an S in front. Q takes nothing in front, so all of the action is going to be around width. Can I sort my rack out before opponent bingos? Mop takes an E, so there is a double-double lane in column 11. 34 for opponent. Chirk only takes an S. KY is good. So I have yay in column 14, but that's giving opponents scoring opportunities. So what do I have? Is yay here best? 19 points. What would be better than this? Do I have anything through this D? Well, no, I don't. Although, let me pause in case I do. It could end ED. No, I would need 2 E's for yiend. This is slightly dangerous because opponent could reach the triple word square with a big tile on this double letter square, for example, as-I'd. Yeah, I can avoid that by playing any. And double N isn't particularly great, and this rack leave sorts out the duplicate N and also gives me scoring potential for next turn. I am going with this. Okay, well, U and Y together not great. No bingo on my rack. I've got the un prefix. I've got un-eyed in column 11, which is quite nice. That will leave DA. Only 15 for opponent. Fantastic. Now, column 8, do I have any NY plays? Don't think so. So this is what I'm thinking of. Un-eyed for 28, and I am going with it. So S's, that's pretty much always good news. However, not seeing a bingo with this rack, certainly not seeing a 7. Where are the floaters? U doesn't look hopeful. What about the N? Well, I have Borsond, but that doesn't take an S. Does Borsond have an anagram? Don't think so. Sound bars through N and R. Other floaters, just the K, and I'm not seeing anything there. So I'm not bingoing. I'd like to play off B and U. Budo is good. That's quite nice. That plays in column 10, making OU. Not a huge amount of opportunities on the board. Great, Budo now plays in column 12. Except it doesn't. Good, not good. Ono is. Well, I just have it lower down. All of those are good. It's 27 points. Rack leave is okay. Yeah, and this is really giving nothing away. I'm going with this. Oh, gosh. ONU not good, of course. So, I have bod, but that keeps the U. Opponent's blocked a bound. So do I have anything down from the N? I don't. I could play Budos and EAS. What about getting the B tripled and playing Chirks? I think I can only do that by burning both S's with Baso. 39 points. Budo's 19 points. Should I play Baso? Well, that keeps a U, burns both S's. I don't think there's a huge difference between these. Budo's provides very little indeed. Is this the play, though? Only 19 points. However, totally sorting the rack out. I've got the sub-prefix with odors. Just looking at ON in case I have a 9. No, I'm going with this. Wow, very unbalanced. Fortunately, I have one vowel. So I have Jarl and Gull. And, well, I could burn the S and play Jarls for a much bigger score, but then that's gifting opponents an easy 30 or 40 point play with the J. Not seeing any J something something S something plays. Great, only 23 for opponent, that's good. They're not zooming off while I'm struggling with these racks. I think Jarl is the play. Wow, horrible rack leave. Can I play off J with F? I would need an O for Fjord. No. Okay, Jarl for 26. Wow, I have N-folds and Fondles both play in row N. That is a surprise. Retaining DFS, I was preparing to wade through more tricky racks, but I have a bingo on my rack. It could be blocked. UH doesn't take anything, so I think it's only row N. But surely opponent's going to be drawn to this J. And they are. Fantastic. So, what do I have in column 15? I have 10 folds. Does that have an anagram? I don't think it does. And this is a much better position and score than row N. So 10 folds for 89. And the vowels come out to play. Fortunately, I have a scoring tile in the P to help get rid of them and score. I have pooed on my rack, so apologies. Is there anywhere for it? Wow, I don't think there is. OBE is good. PUH is good. So I've got PO, but I think I'd like to try and get rid of more of these vowels. It's the sort of rack which you'd like to deal with in one turn. Now, I have a 100-point lead, which is fantastic. Can I keep it? Only one decent bingo lane at the moment, that's row N, and that opens up access to row O. So if opponent does bingo, I may be able to play pooed or ooped in that row. What if they don't? Do I have anything through the K? I have Pico, P-E-K-O-E, but sticking an E under this double letter square surely can't be best. Row I, a possibility because of, but that's going to provide access to this triple word square, middle left. Now, I have oop in column 14. That's quite nice. Or nicer than anything else I've seen. Gulp is good, so I also have poo and gulp. Ease takes an E. And, well, what I suggested has materialised. Opponent has bingoed. I do have a spot for pooed. Wow, and it sets up a massive, massive Z spot. Is there anything I can do about that? A takes an E and a D. So this is what I have. Ooped for 27. Well. Yeah, playing ooped rather than pooed is good because pooed would have allowed ZO, whereas ZO is still good. But only one O to come. Yeah, and if opponent puts their Z above the O and can't get it to play twice, then 31 points is no big deal. Yeah, I'm going with this. Fantastic. I draw the second blank, and the rest of the rack not too shabby. I could have a bingo, but it may not play because I just don't think there are any lanes on this board. So where are the lanes? Column 8, ending AM. That's not a particularly helpful ending. There's BE. That's going to be very low probability and difficult to see how the word is going to end. Wow, is this a board without bingo lanes? I think it may be. I've got a 30-point lead, so this could be a grim and dour struggle to stay in front. Can I do that? And no scoring tiles on my rack. Given that I have the blank, should I be opening the board to try and get a bingo down? Interesting. So, how to sort this rack out? Well, I can play OE here, but then opponent can get a big non-bingo play in row H, and I may not have a bingo. So, why don't I just try and keep the score rolling along? 26 points is pretty handy. This is an amazing rack lead, should opponent open a bingo. Opponent's not going to score much in row A, because they can't put a big tile on this double letter square. Now, I've just noticed ON. That is a potential bingo lane, row F, because I could have an Asian word. So, A blank I, that would use. A blank and I, E-N-O-E. I don't have an Asian bingo this turn, but I'm keeping the right tiles. So, I'm going with Joe for 26. And, well, it is a pretty good rack. But do I have a bingo? So I was looking at this O-N and thinking about Asian. A blank I. That would leave me with rain. Not seeing anything. Great, just 18 for opponent. Now, AM. No. What about other words which use ON, which don't end Asian? Asian burns my blank. Nothing coming to mind. So, what to do? I've still got, well, I've got a 40-point lead, which is pretty handy. Yeah, I'm with no scoring tiles on my rack. I'm looking at the scoring tiles on the board. And here's one, the F. Only 13 points, that's poor. But a fabulous rack leave, and it is on opponent to open the board up. They trail massively. Since there are no bingo lanes, opponent is really going to struggle to catch me without bingoing. 17 tiles in the bag, 9 minutes on my clock. Is AN the best I can do here? I think it is. I could turn over more tiles, but why bother? I think I'd like to keep the most bingo-y rack leave in case opponent opens a lane. I hope I'm not missing a lane here. There was BE, but I just can't think of words ending BE or BE something something. I am going with AI. Great, the rack continues to improve. So, what do I have? Do I have creations? No, I think I have just... Let me move this around on my rack. I don't know why I'm struggling with this. Great, opponent has not opened the board up. Well, they have played though, so let me see where this fails. It can be difficult to juggle. Oh no, because that's why it fails, 2 ends. So if it did end Asian, Crenation, I think that's good. Crenation for 62. And it is fantastic. So I now have a 110-point lead, just 6 tiles in the bag. I have provided a Z spot. Well, there's still the Z spot down below, so mustn't celebrate too early. Well, maybe I should have taken care of that Z spot when I played AI. Oh well, I have a 110-point lead. I can survive a 70-point opponent Z play, and notice there are no other scoring tiles. So maybe I take it out now. I don't have many vowels. 2 tiles in the bag. What to do? Is there anywhere for my X if I just want to power through to the end, regardless of whether opponent takes this spot? Now, I can do this. I can play Rex here for 18 points. Orzo is good. However, that's just playing the Z once. I'm not bothered by that. I'm retaining a vowel, which is good. So I like Rex. Rex for 18. Great, I draw another vowel. This looks a balanced final rack onto an A. I would have embargo. Through an A, rather. Opponent does have the Z. They didn't have the O. So, can I go out in 1 with this rack? Well, there is an AR for embargo. That would leave an R on my rack. What about NE? Well, opponent's taken those spots out. Do I have anything through a T? No, I don't. 7 minutes on my clock. So is opponent going out in 1 with A-I-I-U? No. So I must plan an out in 2. And not easy to do that. Very few spots on the board where one can score. I don't have any vowels for going above na. Can I get value from the Z? Wow, I'm not sure I can. No ZO plays. Well, I could play something like Bez, but that's going to be hard to go out into. 6 minutes on my clock, so no time issue. Wow, this is a balanced rack, but I'm just struggling to see any scoring spots. What am I missing? What would Hasty do? Omba is good as a 5. MNA is good. So I could play Mob. Can I go out with EGR? I have Gert. And I have Reg and Ray, so yes, I don't think there's any need to protract the end of this game. And the game has been adjudicated in my favour. Opponent ran their clock down from 10 minutes to 2 minutes without playing and lost contact or quit on 2 occasions. And the game is finally, after all that, adjudicated in my favour. So the final score, 291 to opponent, 387 to me, a winning margin of 96 points. So a huge win. Let's see what I missed. And I note opponent has signed the ISC Fair Play Agreement. I think perhaps different people have different ideas of what constitutes fair play. Now, it was me to go first, and I played Cat. I don't think Juan retaining the cue is better. Opponent's rack plays Mop. And now I play Width. 2 more points for Wid, but keeping double NT. J6. Wid. That might have been worth doing. I think actually probably very little between those plays. Opponent's rack plays Chirk. And yeah, nothing great here. Although there are some decent scores, none of these rack leaves are particularly brilliant. And really what one was looking for was to play off both Ys and split up the duplicates, and no single move did that. Opponent's rack. Wow, missed bingo, Gefilter. In a number of spots, they play FE, but L2, Gefilter parallel to any. Also 1 square to the left, and also above any. So a let off there. My rack, I play uneyed. Interestingly, I could have played undied in the same spot for a bigger score, but keeping 2 vowels rather than a vowel and consonant. Again, I think this is another of these situations where there's little between these plays. AE is a good rack lead. These are the 2 bingo-y vowels, but AD has the balance in it. Opponent's rack plays Got. And this is the move I was thinking about. Basso for 41, didn't like retaining the U and opening row O. So I play Budos for 22 fewer points. But Budos retains an S, which is worth 8 to 10. So when you take into account the other demerits of Basso, I think these moves are close. Basso on simulation may be better, but it's a more volatile play. And I'm happy with this one. Opponent's rack plays EH. And I played Jarl for 26. There were 18 more points on offer if I burnt my S just by playing one square higher up. But 10 to 12 of those can be clawed back by retaining the S. And also J in row A is inviting a 30-point play. Opponent has Juve in row A. So again, I like my play. Opponent plays Volt, and now this is fantastic because I have 10 folds and other bingos as mentioned. Great rack for opponent and a good spot of aliases. And, well, K1, E-Pod, K1 putting an E in the middle of column 1, I don't like that. I play Oopt for only 7 fewer points, and double O versus EO, well, the duplicate tile rule of thumb is 5 points for the extra tile on top of normal rack leave considerations, so I think Oopt is a better play. Opponent struggling with eyes plays Gist. Phew, no missed bingo here, and I played Joe, which was a nice score and a great rack leave. Opponent plays U. Phew, I was waiting for iteration to pop up. So this is where I play AI for 13, not many more points on offer, and my rack leave is better than any of these. Opponent plays Vibe, and here we go. Wow, the only bingo. Cronation, delighted to have spotted that, and that gave me a 110-point lead. Missed bingo, Ranarian. Let's have a look at that. Ranarian B4 through the R. Wow. That would have changed the complexion of the game with a Z and X still to come. Fortunately, opponent doesn't see it and they take out bingo lanes. Now, only 2 tiles in the bag. The game is won. I lead by 90. And I play Rex for 18 to address this Z danger, but D4... Berm playable for 41. Probably worth doing, although I am risking having 3 consonants on my rack at the end. Opponent's rack plays Tsar, and we're now in the end game. The bag is empty. I can see what opponent has got. The game is won. I lead by 80. This is my rack. I play Mob, but not in this spot, Mob and May. I play it here, creating a spot for Ergo. Now this is where opponent did his monkeying around with time. Could have played Riser for 16, but didn't. And that was the end of the game. So, what a game. Absolutely fascinating stuff. Super tight board, and the absolute clinch move was the spot of Cronation on a really non-bingo-y board. It was a 9-letter play, and it's always fantastic to get those down, and it made the difference. Opponent did have one opportunity to come back after that if they had spotted Renarian and got big scores with the Z and the X, but instead they played Anan, and that opportunity slipped by, and the game was mine. So super exciting stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.